Hello. Hey everybody. So I am making a real quick, this is going to be a wedding gift actually. So the other day, actually I don't think it was in this group, but I had posted a gift for a friend. This is a different gift for a different friend on the occasion of her wedding. So I'm going to be putting together just something. It is actually a kit that I bought because I really liked it. It was cheaper to buy the kit with the instructions, and sometimes it's kind of fun to follow somebody else's rules. So I'm going to be making this kit, and then also gonna go ahead and probably put, because this kit's gonna make maybe a good handful of soap bars. So some of this kit is going to the friend, and some of this kit is probably going to go up for sale. Thank you, Becky. This hat. So the theme here. This is going to have flower petals in it. These are pink cornflower, marigold calendula, dried, and then blue cornflower. So this hat, and the reason I wear a hat is to keep the hair out of the soap. And then since I'm doing flowers, I was like, all right, I'm wearing the flower hat. Why not? But the reason I'm wearing this particular hat, other than flowers, like I got this from a different vendor group, just to say like what amazing and unique finds that you get in these groups. So, like Jenny, you probably might even recognize this because I think you were one of the vendors in that group, and I just thought it was the coolest hat. I really liked everything that she was selling, but this was the only thing that I could like justify needing, as much as one needs a sunflower sun hat. And it's actually a little bit on the small side, but that's okay. It's pretty, and it goes with, like, sunflowers are already big this summer, at least in soap. I don't know how much you guys follow, like, what's going on. I don't follow what's happening outside of soap, but in soap, sunflowers. But I think they're already going out of vogue for whatever's going to be next over the summer. Yeah. Hey, welcome. All right. So I've got my soap pretty well mixed up and melted down. There's like a little bit. I don't need the thermometer right now. There's a little bit that's not completely melted, and that's going to be okay. I'm going to adjust. Oh, you know what? I need to show you guys what I'm doing. So let's get this turned down here. There we go. We got my big scary knife that I always have. I've got my flowers. Got my pretty flowers and my big scary knife. So let's see. So what this recipe is going to do, and I can't show you the whole thing because it's going to take too long, but so I'm going to start with this clear base. Oh, I know, Star Trek Discovery. And then I'm going to add a shea butter base on top of it. And there's going to be a layer of flowers in between. So it's going to be these beautiful flowers and a white soap over them. So I'm just pouring in this soap here. I take all of my orders through www.craftysqs.rocks. So that's crafty, like as in crafties, quarantine, soap. Crafty SQS. It's just easier to break it down that way. And then .rocks, like you went to the desert and you saw rocks. Or like Aerosmith rocks. And if you disagree, well, I want you to buy things, so that's fine. Okay, and so I only need that just like little itty bitty bit in there. So I'm gonna pour this. I have another mold over here that I think is actually an ice cube mold. Whoop. That was one of my unmelted chunks. So I'm just pouring this off over here into like big giant chunks that are going to be fairly easy for me to melt down and reuse later. There we go. Okay, I don't have to get every little bit of that out. Now for this one, the fragrance is called Wildflower Breeze, but no fragrance is actually going to go into the clear soap. Oh, I was going to pour, I'll do it later. Because sometimes your fragrance oils will discolor the soap. And I don't want this clear soap that already has a little bit of a yellow, so it's probably got olive oil in it. I don't want any of that to discolor the clear soap to a yellow color, because I want any color that's coming from this to come from these flower petals, and I want the flower petals to pop, just super duper pop against that white background that I'm going to pour on it. So look at these. I love calendula petals. These are just dried marigold petals. Okay, the camera's having trouble with that idea. Now, when I bought this kit, I thought this mold was going to be so much larger, but it's deeper than it is wide. And I prefer wider than deeper. Otherwise, I might have just bought all this stuff separately and duplicated. But hey, that's okay. I am trying something different. I am trying something new. And like I said, I'm following somebody else's rules instead of making my own this time. Hey there, Julie. All right, so I've got my pink, I've got my yellow, and then I'm just gonna put these cornflowers, this real nice little sprinkle, or a rainstorm, whatever. Bars of soap are sisters, not twins. Siblings, not twins, I guess you could say, because I don't know, not all the soap is female, I know that. Not that I really make those decisions for the soap, but yeah, and so I'm going to put all of those on there and apparently blast them all away when I squirt the alcohol to make them kind of like stick. I thought that was going to help, and I think all I did was make a mess and get alcohol up my nose. Yeah. Wow, that's some really strong alcohol. That might be ethyl instead of isopropyl. What is it labeled as? It's labeled as isopropyl. Yeah. 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 Oh my gosh, Alyssa, I usually want to eat the soap also. I think you can actually eat the marigold and the cornflower petals, but don't eat the soap. It's not going to kill you, but it'll probably give you GI disturbance, to put it politely. Alright, so this is a nice, firm, solid mold. So for this one, I'm actually just going to pick this up and set it over there. That is one thing that I do like about Brambleberry's molds. They are very sturdy, they're very easy to work with. And so I'm going to prep my shea butter and just kind of monitor. I might be able to do this all in one video. Can somebody kind of just... oh, thank you, Alyssa. Isn't it wonderful? And you know, Alyssa, I will tell you, I got this from a different vendor group where I was just shopping, and that is the magic of these groups. I am saying it for the second time in this video. You can get stuff in these groups that you can't get other places. Oh, this is like a super rich soap. I can tell because it's just kind of like melting in my hand. So, but it's shea butter, so... All right, hi Kristen. Can somebody tell me, is there a timer on the screen? How long have I been live? I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know everybody loves watching this, but I also know people have lives, and maybe somebody else wants to go live too. There we go. So the reason I cut the soap like this, which some people really love, I should probably do this in a way that's more easier to see. But the reason you cut the soap like this is to make it easier to melt. So I usually say this at least once a group in a video. You're taking the soap like it's a big giant ice cube, and then instead of sculpting the ice, you're going to take the ice, melt it, and pour it into an ice mold. And instead of just shoving the giant block of ice in the microwave and seeing what happens, you cut the ice into smaller pieces. Now, ice obviously isn't going to be this easy to cut, but you get the picture. All right. Okay. Oh, only 10 minutes? Shoot, girl, I got time. So I'm just going to put all this in here. Gosh, I wish I wasn't wearing gloves because I have a feeling that this would like make my hands feel wonderful right now, the way this soap feels. It feels like it's more shea butter than soap, which it very well could be. It is a shea butter soap. Alright, so pardon my butt really quick. Yes, Kristen, very much like melting butter. There we go. So while that's going, hopefully I'm not shouting too loud for any of you, and hopefully that the microwave isn't too loud or annoying. It's only going to be going for a minute and a half. So like I was going through my ingredients the other night, and I was like, what are all these like weird, scary sounding things? So like one of the things that like everybody always hones in on with soap makers get this question all the time: the sodium hydroxide. What is sodium hydroxide? Why is it in my soap? Isn't that scary and dangerous? If you know what sodium hydroxide is, that is lye. Lye will give you horrible. It's a caustic, so it'll burn you. It'll melt you. In the movies, you occasionally see somebody try and melt a human body in a bathtub after they've murdered someone. Like, that's lye, and it's in your soap. But the soap making process, so the mixing of water and lye makes a very chemical, like a caustic water blend. And so when you take the lye and you mix it with your oils, what that lye starts doing, the water, the lye, and the oil all start saponifying. They bond together and they make soap. And so it renders that lye inert and safe. Now the soap is caustic for at least like usually around 24 hours afterwards. So like you can't, like after you make soap. I use a pre-made base and melt it down. But after you like actually make soap from disparate ingredients, you actually can't use it immediately. You have to wait at least overnight. And even then, those soap makers, if you see people making the actual soap with like the stick blender, the lye, and the fats, they cure that for like 6 weeks afterwards. So like if you pay attention, they're talking like they're filming their Christmas video in like October, just to make sure that all of their soap is ready by the time that they release it and show you how they made it. And you think it's all like happening in real time, but like by the time that they post that video, like they've already made their spring soap. And that's fine. That's the way to do it. That's the way you do it. When I start making my own soap, that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to check this really quick. So what's another one? Sorbitol. We've seen it in food, maybe in toothpaste here and there. Sorbitol is a sugar. It does naturally occur, but we don't really. For melt and pour base soap, sorbitol does a couple of different things. Sugars do a couple of different things for soap. And sorbitol is really just a type of sugar. It's not that great necessarily to ingest, or if it is fine to ingest, it's like just like whatever. It's not sugar. It's not like the kind of sugar. It's not like cane sugar where it's gonna make you like fat or anything. I think it's usually used like as an artificial sweetener, but it's like a natural sweetener because it's naturally occurring. But so you got sorbitol, and what the sugars do, what any sugar does in soap, it does a couple of different things. It makes it harder. It also can increase your lather. And so you're using, because sugar is just another chemical, really. You hear chemicals, you think bad things, but like soap is a chemical. And then you have soaps that are more chemical, like Dawn dish liquid isn't actually soap because of the way they make it. It's a synthetic detergent, and that's fine. It does its job. It cleans penguins and dishes. You're not a penguin covered in oil, and you're not a dish. You don't want that on your skin for any longer than you're washing your dishes. Let's check this. Oh. So yeah, sorbitol, sometimes people are like, I don't know if I want that. You're fine. That's just making your soap nicer to use. Okay, I do have some chunkies in here still. I don't want chunkies, so I'm just gonna mix until the chunkies go away. Hey, Heather. Yes, exactly, non-oily penguins. So Dawn definitely has a time and a place, and it is not your skin. Oh my goodness, clean penguins. Oh my gosh, I should make a clean penguin bar. Like, I could take some white soap and some black soap and just be like, look at the clean penguin. And then be like, but don't actually try and clean the penguin with this because your synthetic detergents are going to do better at that than a real soap will. Okay, so just letting this all melt down and mix. It looks like I'm pretty mixed. Like, oh my god, how did we wind up on clean penguins? Oh, because I was talking about penguin cleaner. Penguin and dish cleaner. Okay, now, Brambleberry says to use this entire bottle and the white soap, and that is so much more soap than I usually use. More fragrance than I usually use. Like, I never, ever need this much fragrance oil. Like, I've got a pound of soap. I maybe only need like 3 to 5 milliliters. I guess maybe I do want the white base to be a little bit more. I'll do 6 milliliters because I don't want to kill anybody with this fragrance. That's a lot. Okay, well, I mean 6 milliliters. I guess that's taken away a good portion of this. How many ounces is this? I don't know. It's a trial size. But okay, so we mix the fragrance oil in. No cool colors in this one because we want a nice white background for our pretty petals. Okay, and so the alcohol is doing a couple of things here. I'm using it to kind of wet down the flower petals because I don't want to add water. God, their alcohol is so much worse than mine. Ugh. You know what? It's probably just aerosolizing more than mine because I have a different sprayer. That sprayer came with the kit, and I was like, perfect. I just haven't refilled yet. So, okay. All over the place here. So there you go. There's 2 of your ingredients. And then we're going to take this shea butter. We're just going to very carefully pour it over the flowers. Oh, look at how pretty that is. And I'm just kind of going to go back and forth, to try and keep those flowers from floating up to the top like they're doing right now. Exactly how I didn't want them to. Okay, well, not going to be perfect every time, but let's see what happens if I put a lot of alcohol on them. I still think that's kind of cool. I don't know if you can see like those colors there, but it's definitely like a white confetti soap from where I'm sitting. Okay, I've got a similar amount of floaters in this one. So I am just going to go a little bit crazy here. And this is going to be soap with so much flowers. I think it's probably going to help a little bit to kind of press them in there also. These bars are turning out really pretty, even though they're not turning out like the picture. Actually, I don't know what the other side's going to look like. but the picture really indicates that I should have no floaters. Okay, well, you know, I thought in the tutorial video that I watched that they said don't put the flowers in first, put the flowers in second. But I guess you were supposed to... put the flowers in first. Oh, well. Oh my gosh, Julie. I am so excited to see kids interested in this process because it is so much fun to know where your soap comes from. And I know you have used it. Yeah, right? Like this confetti look isn't the intended look, but it's amazing. But no, yeah, get your kids. Honestly, this is a really safe craft for you to do with your kids. Don't just like set them loose. This kit is probably more expensive than you want to let your kids loose on. But you can go like on Amazon. Actually, don't go on Amazon. Like at least go to a craft store. Or like check out someplace like Brambleberry, a woman-owned small business. But you can find places that sell these kits. I think Brambleberry even has a kids kit where you can make little animal soaps. And you know when you get it from someplace like that, that the soap is going to be like a really happy, healthy, skin-friendly kind of soap. Where a lot of times you get really cheap soap full of like sulfides. Now there's one for you, sulfides or sulfates. Say no to SLS, say no to SLES, sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium lauryl sulfate. Yeah. Oh, I am so sorry, Julie. I was not thinking. I forgot the child was still watching. You know what? I actually just heard that every place just ran out of soap. This is the last soap on the planet. Does that help? Is that helping? Did that help? No, honestly, you know what? Just take some of the soap that I gave you and like melt it down, put it in a Tupperware. You already have melt and pour soap. That's the nice part about melt and pour soap. It's a very forgiving craft. Except for something like this where I've put stuff in it. You can melt it down and make something new. And oh yeah, I need to make a Millennium Falcon. There we go, one silver Millennium Falcon. And then I'm pouring the rest off. I would show you the mold that I'm pouring this into as I'm pouring it. But the cat's food is in the background, and that's just, I don't know, that's weird to me to like show you guys the cat food. Mostly because she's kind of a piggy and makes a giant mess. Hi. Am I still here? I'm still here. Okay. Yeah, right? So, yeah, if you buy soap from me and you're just thinking, like, this is, like, I don't know, maybe you didn't like the shape of the soap because it wasn't poop. Good luck finding that poop soap mold. I didn't know it when I bought it, but that thing got discontinued. And now they only have like a Hershey Kiss size, which is still a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, if you buy this soap, like heck, if you tell me you just want a pound of melt and pour soap, I'll sell it to you like just above cost, plus shipping. So let me know. Like Julie, by the way, like if you want some, go for it. I'll even send you a really cheap plastic mold that you can make your own bar in. Or it's actually probably cheaper for shipping to run to Michael's and buy one for like, they're like $2 to $3 for the molds that they have there. You can go more expensive, but you don't have to. But so yeah, melt and pour soap is an excellent craft. Get your kids hooked on it. They will have a talent forever. There's actually a YouTuber. She started making melt and pour soap when she was like 7, I want to say, and now she's 25, and she's got like a really big business, a very successful YouTube channel. She's probably going to hit like 1 million subscribers really soon here. She started making cold process soap when she was 16. And so you never know. Like, expose your kids to crafts, because like my mom crafted all the time when I was a kid. I learned all kinds of like weird little things about crafting from her. Soap was never something that she did. I picked this up on my own because I knew when the quarantine started I needed something to keep me busy, and that's exactly exactly where my soap company name came from, Crafty's Quarantine Soap. So don't hesitate to expose your kids to something like this. Just stay away from cold process soap with kids, because then you are dealing with lye. You can really damage yourself and your children with that. Keep your pets in another room if you do that. But melt and pour soap, unless you microwave the living daylights out of it, which, I mean, if you follow the instructions and do 10 to 30 second bursts in the microwave, you're not going to get your soap much higher than like 150 degrees, and like it's going to be like a hot glue gun if you get it on you. And it'd be like, oh, ow, that's uncomfortable, and then it's going to cool and harden, and then you're just going to go wash your hands. Like it will, yeah. So it's a nice, fun, safe thing that you can do with your kids, and it's relatively cheap for what you get out of it. I would say if you do want to buy some soap from me, just get the soap base. Don't buy molds from me because they'll be really expensive. You can get really cheap ones and really cheap colorants at the store. But okay. By the way, that's not me plugging an actual kit that I have, but if you are interested, we can talk. A pound is about this big of soap for anybody that wasn't here at the beginning. So, all right. I'm awkward about ending videos. Bye.